Hey, what's up, YouTube? This is LaShawn Wiley with the Science of Managing. And today's episode, we are going to be talking about managing and starting up your own business. I will cover the 5 things you want to keep in mind when starting up your own business. A lot of my subscribers and people watching this video know me personally, but for those who do not know me personally, this is a part that I will include because it's relevant to the topic we will be covering today. When I was a teen, I started up working at a McDonald's in Los Angeles, California. And I was a crew person and worked my way up to a crew trainer. And then I worked my way up to shift manager, assistant manager, and eventually up to general manager. And I was the general manager for around 7 years combined at McDonald's. A lot of people think McDonald's is not really much of a job, not much of a real job or a serious job, but that's actually not the case. I learned a lot about running my own business at McDonald's because when you really think about it, I was a guy with my own assistant management team and a crew of 50 or 60 people at one any given time. And I ran a business that was a multi-million dollar a year business successfully. So if you can run that, running your own startup is actually not hard at all when you really think about it in that sense. But there are some things that you need to know when you're starting up your own business. So that's why I am doing this video to help you guys avoid some of the problems that or pitfalls that I would have ran into had I not known what I learned from working a big company like McDonald's. And I also ran Starbucks for 5 years as a general manager. I ran Chevron as well for a couple of years. So I've done a lot of different businesses as a general manager. So this gave me the courage to go ahead and start my own business. So I started my own recording studio, and I did that for a few years. I also started up a daycare. I started up a photography business that I ran for a few years. And I currently, right now, run a real estate company with my wife, and I work a day job as well. And speaking of working a day job, I'll advise a lot of you guys watching this, if you do have a stream of income or a day job and you can manage 2 things at once, like I seem to like to do because I'm a busybody. I can start up my own business and work a day job at the same time because I put in hours and I'm not afraid of work. Some people can't, some people can. Yeah, if you're one of the people that can do it, I think it's a great idea because it will feed your new business. It will give you a stream of income to help you launch your new business if you're able to work a day job. Now, some people can't do that, so they're going to have to go out and get a loan, or they're going to have to save up some money. They're going to have to fund their new business a different way. But if you can do both, that's a great way to fund your new business. I just want to put that out there. Okay, so let's jump right into it. 5 things you want to keep in mind. The very first thing we're going to talk about is the product or service that you're providing. Now, you want to make sure whatever you're providing is a product or service that other people either need or want, or both need and want. Because if you're doing some type of hobby that's like a niche thing that is special to you and maybe to your immediate family, but there's really not a need for it or a want for it out in the general public, you're going to find it very hard to succeed in that business. So find a business that has a need or a service that you can provide that there is a need for. Otherwise, you're going to have a hard time succeeding. It's not going to work. Okay, I'm sorry to be the one to tell you, but it's just not going to work. Now, it doesn't matter if you have a lot of competition in the business that you're thinking about. What does matter is that you're able to do it better than the person next to you. And when I say do it better, I'm talking about either providing it at a more affordable price, or making it more readily available, or the quality of what you're providing is higher than the person next to you, something like that. So it doesn't matter if there's a really big giant corporation right next door to you or right down the street or right across the street. None of that matters if you're able to undercut that competitor in your own way that works for you. I'll give you an example. When I started my recording studio, that was one of the scariest things that I did. I refinanced my house in California in order to build my own studio and buy all of the equipment. And that was me taking a risk, putting thousands of dollars on the line for an ideal. Okay. Now, when I started that business, there was recording studios in Hollywood, which was only 25 minutes from where I was. And I was in Los Angeles, right on a border of Compton, California. So people could, go right to Hollywood or even go to other studios even closer. And I had to worry about going up against those people. So what I did was I advertised a more affordable price for people to come see me. And I made sure that I provided a great service, that I was skilled at what I was providing, the service that I was providing for people, and it worked for me. Okay, so yeah, you have to just either be more affordable, more convenient, more consistent. You have to be something just a little bit more than your competitor, and you will be fine. Okay. All right, let's jump to number two. Number two is pricing. You want to make sure when you price your product, first of all, it's reasonable. If you're brand new, it's not reasonable to ask for a ton of money. If you have zero experience, it's not reasonable to ask for a ton of money and you don't even have a following yet. So when I started my photography business, there were events that I did. I did weddings just at the cost of my supplies. My very first wedding, I did it just for the cost of supply, and I told the lady she could tip me if she wanted to, if she was happy with what I provided for her, and she did tip me. So, but I was willing to just do it at the cost of my supplies because I didn't have any weddings under my belt and I needed to build up my portfolio, my book. So she was nice enough to let me do it. And from there, I was able to start building up my book and I did more and I started offering promo prices. And so I wasn't doing it just at the cost of my supplies. Now I was doing it at just a discounted price. Did a couple more weddings that way. And eventually, 2 years later, I was able to start charging full price what my competitors were charging because I had enough business, I had enough following, I had a website built, I had a lot going on at that time where I could actually charge for the price that other people were charging. But when you first start, you have to probably put some promo out there and don't be afraid to do that. Don't feel like you're selling yourself short because that's more important to get word of mouth, to get referrals, and do a couple of discounts at the beginning in order to build up your following, your clientele. Okay. So price your product accordingly, appropriately. Okay. All right. Let's jump to number three, advertising. You may not have a lot of money when you start off, but you have to advertise some type of way. When I started, I would do online yellow page ads. I did at one point I did posters in the city. If you can afford billboards, go ahead and do that. Bus benches, subway signs, business cards, flyers, yard signs on your yard. When I did a daycare in Los Angeles, I didn't have any money to advertise, so I went to the arts and crafts store and bought white poster board and some stickers and put my own lettering on that poster board. So it wasn't super professional, but it wasn't super crappy either, and it got the job done. It let people know that I was open and ready for business. So if you have some money, work your budget, spend the money. Don't be afraid to spend the money. And if you do put money out there, don't expect an immediate return. It takes time for people to see your ads, to become comfortable with your brand, with your services, and they need to consistently see it out there before they trust you enough to start giving you their money for your services. So whatever you have as far as a budget, you have to put it on the line. You have to put the money out there. You have to invest. So yeah, do what you can, but you have to have some kind of money. Even if you have to borrow some money, you have to have something to get started to let people know you're open. All right, we're coming up on number 4. Before I jump into number 4, I want you guys to please hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already subscribed, and share this information with other people, because for me, the science of managing is all about sharing information that will help you succeed and make you some money and save you some time and some pain, if I can, because it's all about helping you succeed. That's what the science of managing is all about. So let's jump right into number 4, which is commitment. You have to commit to what you're trying to do here. If you're opening your own business, you have to commit to that ideal. You have to commit to the lessons that you need to learn in order to make your business successful. Sometimes you have to take some classes to get some licenses. You have to get permits. You have to get some certifications probably. You have to be committed to the process. If it takes doing that, then do it. Okay? You can't start the business and have one foot in and one foot out. You can't be halfway committed to doing it. Now, I'm not saying that you have to quit your job. You know, there are some people out there that will encourage you to quit your job and only do your own business 100%. But I understand that that is a big leap for a lot of people. And some people have families to provide for. So I totally get that. And I'm not telling you to do that. What I'm saying is, if you do your own job, your day job, and then you do your own business part-time, then that means you're committing a certain time slot for your personal business and you're committing a certain time slot for your day job. So if your personal business, for example, is going to take 4 days or 4 nights out of your week, and your day job is taking 40 hours a week, 5 days a week, then whatever you set aside for your own business, you have to be committed to that time slot. So if it's a restaurant and you open at 9 a.m., be committed to opening at 9 a.m. for however many days you set aside. If you're not working that second job or that day job, and you're just doing your own thing, then you have to be committed to those 5 days or 6 days a week that you're open. But you have to stay open and be consistently open all 6 days. You can't just decide to take a day off because you're tired or because you think the business is not doing what you thought it would do in the first year. That's not commitment. Okay? And I'm not saying you can get away with just being committed the first month or the first 2 months or the first 4 months. For a business to succeed, you need to be solid and committed and consistent for the first 2 years. Think that way. Okay? Before you really know if the business is viable or not. All right? Let's go ahead and jump to number 5. I saved this one for last because I think this one is a really important one, and it really gets in the way of a lot of people succeeding or even starting their own business. Number 5 is fear. All right? People are so afraid to take that leap when it comes to opening their own business. Me included. When I refinanced my house to open up my recording studio, I was scared. I was afraid that it wouldn't succeed. I was afraid that I was putting all this money on the line, and what if it didn't work out? What if customers didn't come? What if I didn't make enough money to support my family? Yes, it's scary opening your own thing because it's your money on the line. It's your business. It's not like you're working for someone else. You cannot allow fear to make a decision for you. You have to have the courage to put yourself out there, because I know a lot of people watching this video have some great ideas that will succeed if they actually just put themselves out there and went for it. A lot of people watching this video are also hard workers. They have great work ethics and they're working very hard for someone else, for another business, or for a boss to succeed. Just imagine if you put that kind of energy in your own business for your own business to succeed. You will be fine. But you have to muster up the courage to go out and put yourself out there and invest the money and do it. Don't listen to the naysayers, because you're going to have 5 people next to you saying it's not going to work. Why are you doing this? You shouldn't take that chance. What if it doesn't work? It's not going to work. You're going to have people out there saying that because fear told them that it wouldn't work for them. So they're repeating what fear told them to you, telling you that it's not going to work, that you are not going to succeed. You can't listen to that. Build up your courage. Do your homework, the necessary homework that you need to succeed. First of all, have a product that's going to work. Have a service that people need, that people want. Price it the right way. Do some promos at the very beginning. Advertise. Let people know that you are open, that you're in this business. Don't be embarrassed to tell your friends and your family. Advertise with them. Let them know, hey, if you guys know anybody who need this service or who need this product, I'm open. Don't be afraid. Don't be embarrassed. Okay? Advertise, commit to the process, commit to everything that you're doing, and then build up the courage to do it, stick with it, and put yourself out there. Stick with it for enough time for it to succeed, and go for it. Okay? Just stay committed and do it right and go for it. That's it, you guys. Those are the 5 things I want you guys to keep in mind when you are starting up your own business and you're running your own business. Be dedicated to it. Follow these 5 steps. Do what's necessary for your company to succeed and for your business and your ideal to take off, and you will be fine. Trust me when I say you will be fine. You just have to be fully dedicated and committed to it, okay? You guys be good out there. I want you all to succeed in life. No excuses. Stay dedicated to your own business, because it's a whole lot better to work for yourself and give yourself 100% than to work for someone else and give them 100%. You guys be good out there. Until next time.